Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present the National Language Exams results for this year. I've got a number of slides to go through, so I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible, and we have a couple surprise presentations in the middle as well. So for the first slides we want to go to for the National Latin Exams, on the next slide you will see the results. We had another spectacular year in terms of our gold medals and silver medal and magna cum laude recipients, as you can see by the numbers on the board. And on the following slide, you will see the perfect papers for Latin 1. You can see those names on the board: Eric Chen, Drew Golden, Nico Recchia, Arish Singhvi, Braden Bauer, Michael Datillo, William Hardy, Ross Hudson, Ben Poster, and John Smithwick, Reed Grooms, Henry Pitt, and especially a shout out to Reed Ragsdale for 5 consecutive gold medals. That's almost unheard of. So I want to recognize those boys really quickly.
Salvete discipuli juniores senioresque. In Latin class, we like to reward particularly good performance with something we call the alti quinque, which means high five in Latin, but we give it like this because 5 is a V in Latin, right? So I made a challenge to my students for the National Latin Exam, just between themselves, between no other classes. I said, if over 50% of you score above the national average on the National Latin Exam, I will publicly give you the world's first alti decim high 10. So I am pleased to say that not only did over 50% of my students score over the national average, but they blew it out of the water. So if Mr. Henson's Latin students will stand up to receive the world's first alti decim, which is of course in the shape of an X. Everybody, 3, 2, 1, pa, bene factum.
Thank you, Mr. Henson. Moving on to the next slide, we also had our Latin students compete in the Junior Classical League. We don't have time to go through all those names, but I do want all of you to pay attention to these slides. If you see your name in these slides, please make a mental note of that because we'll have you stand up at the end for your recognition. And then Reed Ragsdale is going to come up and present this next slide.
On April 22nd, a group of 15 students went to the TJCL convention, state convention, and competed in academic testing like on the previous slide and placed in various categories. And also in a quiz bowl tournament of Curtamen, we placed first in our novice league and third in our advanced league. So I'd like to present these first and third place trophies to Mr. Joy and the school.
Thank you, Reed. We are now going to move over to the modern languages, and once again, I ask that you hold your applause until the very end, and I remind you that if you see your name on these slides, to please make a mental note so you can stand up and be recognized at the end. The next slide, we don't have a national Chinese exam, but our Chinese students competed in the essay contest as well as the speech contest, and these are the winners. Following the next slide, we had the Chinese also had a national poster contest, and these are the award recipients, including Anson Anderson for his bronze award, and that's his poster on the screen. Moving on to French, here are the results for the overall results for the exams, and here are the individual placements for French 1. Emmett Adams and George Ma tied for first in a state. For French 2, we had another strong showing by all these boys. In French 3, Max, who is our exchange student visiting from Bordeaux, finished first in a state as a native speaker division. And Charlie Coast, whose name is not highlighted there but should be recognized, he also got first in a state for French 4. Moving on to German, these are how the overall results look like. Another strong showing by our German students. And we had a number of first place finishers in German, including in German 1, Walker, Stephen, and Jack all tied for first place. In German 2, Dennis finished first in the state. German 3 had another strong showing, and then finally in German 4. And moving on to the last is Spanish. Here are the overall results. Unfortunately, we do not have our state rankings yet for Spanish, so we just have the national percentiles. But here are the results for Spanish 1. The results for Spanish 2, which is quite lengthy. And the results for Spanish 3 and Spanish 4. And once again, these are only those students who finished in the 95th percentile and higher. Now, as I finish, I do want to ask every single one of you, if you saw your name up on that screen, please stand up right now, including Latin students who received a gold summa cum laude, silver maxima cum laude, magna cum laude, or cum laude. And I want you to take a look around the room really quick, because becoming proficient in a language is a skill. It takes a lot of grit, resilience, and persistence. It's not much different than Nico Haraldson over here and how he became so proficient on the bass, or Branley behind me in his singing, or Paul Butts with his piano, or Mechanical Sharp, Darren Hall, Billy Jones, and Charlie Coast on the stage, or Matthew Hyde breaking the 38 record in the high jump. The reason they did that is because they put in the work. All these guys around you, they put in the work, so let's recognize them for putting in the work.